guys, how you
Shoot.
doing? This is Isamu here, and I got Paul. How you doing, Paul?
Hey, brother, what's going on?
Well, today is Thursday, and the 16th, and it's a lot of stuff happening in the world, and a lot of unexplainable stuff that's happening. And I guess right now what's happening is a lot of earthquakes, and we were talking about HARP the other day and stuff, but it's hard to say, but all we can say is that there's been a lot, especially in California around there. So I'm kind of worried about that. So, but it looks like
Mm.
looking at the map, there's a whole bunch of them. What you got, brother?
Well, and then the name of the next topic I wanted to talk. This is not the earthquakes, but it might have to do with something that's close by it. Is there's a if you check over? Do you have the next clip? Show where the Dolphins. It was about 7 hours ago in Wolfleet, Massachusetts. If you could show that flick, brother, and
Okay.
come up on that. Okay, there's no. It says no. There's no good spot. This is Cape Cod right here, where the scal's standing over this dolphin. There's no good spot on Cape Cod dolphins to continue this winter's massive and unexplained beachings, but a group of 11 has chosen one of the worst. If you, brother, if you can just go to the view the gallery or just play the video, you can probably play the video. Let me finish up here, and then why don't you go ahead and play the video. The remote inlet down Wellfleet's Herring River is a place where the tides recede fast and far, and that left the animals mirrored in a grayish-brown mud one local calls Wellfleet mayonnaise. Walking is the only way to reach the animals, but it's not easy. Rescuers crunch through corded grass and seashells before hitting a grabby muck that releases a footstep only after a sucking pop. One volunteer hits a high, deep hole and tumbles forward. The mud covers his face like messy war paint the rest of the morning. Rescuers make a quick assessment once they reach the animals. One dolphin is dead, but the other 10 appear healthy, and some bang their tails and the shell is starting to move. Rescuers decide the best course is to wait for the incoming tide to free dolphins, then boats can try to herd them out of trouble. So, brother, I don't know if you can go to the left right there where it says play video.
Hmm.
Not able to?
I'm working on it.
Well, as you're doing that, I'll read on. Let's see, it says waiting has risk. Dolphins can't survive long on land, and there's no guarantee that the boats can push the dolphins on to safety. Now, when we start crossing our fingers, said Brian Sharp of the International Fund for Animal Welfare as he heads for a boat. A year ago, Tuesday's 11 stranded dolphins would have seemed remarkable. Now they just add to a growing tally. It has, if you go down further, but they have one that says dolphins wash up on shore at Cape Cod. I'm not going to hit that instead. That might show up quicker. It says further on, it says in the last month, 177 short-beaked common dolphins have stranded on Cape Cod, and 124 have died. The total is nearly 5 times the average of 37 common dolphins that have stranded annually during the last 12 years. So far, there's no explanation.
Cape Cod, most of them
Workers at the
died.
IAFW, which have led the rescue efforts, tag and take blood samples of the stranded animals.
Gone to Massachusetts to help.
Necropsies have been done on dead animals. A congressional briefing was held earlier this month and pushed for answers, but researchers can only offer theories about such changes in weather, water temperature, or behavior of dolphins' prey. Geography may also play a role. If dolphins are getting lost along the Cape Cod's jagged coastline with towns like Wellfleet. In mid-February, Wellfleet feels like a place of long emptied out after a dimly remembered party. A close main golf course, candy store, a drive-in thing are among the dormant summer businesses seen on the drive into town. In the downtown world, past some cottages and motel cabins. But Wellfleet is a hotspot for dolphin stranding.
For people that need it.
Sunday,
in part because of the features of Jeremy Point, thin peninsula that blocks away the Cape Cod Bay. If the dolphins wander too far into the towns, however, the IFAW was charged with pushing the animals past the point, choosing once they're free. Meanwhile, rescuers in their orange vests and black waders work in pairs to move the dolphins on slings, bringing them closer and pointing the right way. So it just seems like there's a big problem with these dolphins, and they're just dying off and they don't know why it's happening. One of the theories is, what I think is, it might be from Mercury, and where the mercury is coming from. One of the causes, not only from the air and what have you, it could come from volcanoes. It could come from different things that are happening underneath the earth. I know you're over there trying to get that one flick, brother. But if you go down further, there's one called Dolphins Wash Up on Shore in Cape Cod.
I actually got the video going, brother.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Most of them dying. 13 News reporter Cleve Bryan is live in the newsroom tonight. And Cleve, a team of experts from the Virginia Aquarium has gone to Massachusetts to help.
And marine biologists tell me the amount of work to save so many beach dolphins in Cape Cod is nearly impossible for one group to handle. And our Virginia team was tapped as this natural disaster extends well beyond what experts thought possible. They're one of the most intelligent animals in the world. And for some unknown reason, droves of common dolphins are turning up stranded in Massachusetts. Since early January, marine mammal rescuers have found more than 160 stranded dolphins, with more than 100 too late to be saved. But Virginia is doing its part to help.
We have expertise, and we're using that expertise for people that need it.
Sunday, 2 biologists with the Virginia Aquarium and Marine Science Center drove up the coast for a second trip to help in Cape Cod.
Stranding response is a difficult thing to do, and responding to live animals is emotionally draining. But I think the folks up in Cape Cod right now are just drained because they don't know when it's going to end.
Senior aquarium scientist Susan Barco says her staff is helping from keeping up paperwork to doing physical exams.
And that's just a tremendous amount of work. Every stranding takes 12 or more hours, and they're doing this multiple animals at a time.
The Goodwill gesture is also a training opportunity to help prepare Virginia rescuers who handled 90 strandings last year. Barco says the physical features of Cape Cod's coast lend itself to more dolphin strandings than Virginia, but warm winter weather, as biologists concerned, strandings could increase.
And so we're certainly on alert as well, as are many other folks up and down the coast.
That Virginia group got right to work today. They tell us there were 3 dolphins just this morning that they tried to help out. And Cleve Bryan, 13 News.
Oh. There you go, my brother.
Switching to Progressive could mean hundreds more in your wallet year after year.
Then I think we have a next flick here of this show. This happened over a year ago. You have that, brother?
Yeah, is this the one with all the fishes?
Yeah, this happened over here in Redondo Beach, California, and this was less than a year ago. And it shows that all these salmon, I think they're salmon, not salmon, they're fishes of some sort, of anchovies or something. But there's all kinds of them. You'll see in the video that my brother's going to show you right now. The little fishes. See, look at that. And then the whole area is flooded with these things. And one of the causes, I think, is because of mercury. Fish everywhere. Sorry. Got to clean it. You know what? What was like in their world? Only one way to find out.
Well, brother, I don't know if you saw that part, but the guy had a camera and he was putting in the water.
Yeah, I did see that.
So there was all these fishes. I mean, there's a massive fishes and stuff. I mean,
and there's a lot of concern as to what is affecting the dolphins and the fish and the changes, whether the changes of the environment, whether it be the air or under the sea or volcanoes or different things. But what the biggest thing that comes out of it, it's called mercury.
Hmm.
And we have this in our tuna fish. When you pull the cans out of the shelf and you make your kids and yourself a tuna fish sandwich, most likely you're eating some kind of mercury. And this has been an increase in our waters. And we're eating this stuff today. And so the next thing that we're going to show you is where mercury kind of just derives from and where it's at, what could happen.
Every year, nearly 2.5 million people visit Acadia National Park. They are mesmerized by the play of waves against rock and experience stunning views from places like the summit of Cadillac Mountain. It's easy to understand why citizens a century ago worked so tirelessly to protect the park for future generations to enjoy. What may not be so obvious is that park managers are working equally hard today to protect Acadia's natural resources from an invisible foe that knows no boundaries, air pollutants, and in particular, mercury. While there are natural sources of airborne mercury, such as volcanoes, human activities have greatly increased the amount of mercury in the environment through industrial processes that include burning coal for electricity and burning waste. Once emitted to the air, mercury can travel great distances before it returns to the earth with rain, snow, dust, or fog. Mercury that reaches Acadia National Park through the atmosphere is likely to originate from some of the same sources of haze that often obscure the park's scenic vistas. The National Park Service is concerned about mercury due to its harmful effects on wildlife and human health. It only takes a very small amount of this persistent metal to pollute an ecosystem because it builds up in the bodies of animals over time and increases in concentration with each level of the food chain, a process called biomagnification. Acadia National Park is one of the most intensively studied areas for mercury in the United States. Elevated concentrations have been documented in certain fish, salamanders, bald eagles, loons, and tree swallows. Levels of mercury in some fish exceed safe consumption thresholds established for wildlife and human health. Mercury's toxic effects include reproductive and neurological impairment and decreased survival. Sarah Nelson, a scientist from the University of Maine, has studied how mercury moves through the park's environment.
Our research at Acadia indicated that more mercury particles collected on and eventually rained down from areas of spruce and fir forest canopies than areas with maple, beech, or shrubs and sites with no forest at all, suggesting to scientists that the landscape has a big effect on the presence of mercury.
Since 1995, Acadia National Park has collected precipitation samples and measured the amount of atmospheric mercury entering the park through rain and snow. Data indicate that the current rate of mercury deposition is about 4 times greater than what scientists think rates were before industrialization. Furthermore, the park's forested areas and abundant surface waters create an environment especially susceptible to mercury contamination.
The park's resources are at risk, the natural resources are at risk, and public health is also at risk. And we continue to coordinate with state and other federal agencies who are involved in mercury regulations to let them know about the results of our research. And hopefully that can help improve regulations that can make mercury.
Wow, so they were talking about mercury, huh, brother?
That's right.
So you think that mercury has to do with the earthquakes and stuff, or?
It could be. You know, you're not quite sure what's happening here, but there's a scripture, and I think it's in 1 Kings 8:37. And what it says is here it says, when famine or plague comes to the land, or blight or mildew, locusts or grasshoppers, or when enemy besieges them in any of their cities, whatever disaster or disease may come. And the cross reference is, then I will do this to you, and I will bring upon you sudden terror, wasting, diseases, and fever, and will destroy your sight and drain away your life. You will plant seed in vain because your enemies will eat it. And it just seems like, you know, we're having this pestilence, like, you know, like in the day of when Israel was in Egypt, and Moses told them to set the people free, and the Pharaoh said no. Well, all these plagues and pestilence came upon him. And it seems like this is starting to happen now. Now, I don't know, mercury's not a good thing. And we honestly, you'll find these in, they kill dolphins and make it into tuna fish. You know that, right, brother?
What do they do?
Well, they're killing dolphins right now, and they're making it into like tuna fish.
Really?
Oh yeah. And then, but you have to understand that these tuna fish and the dolphins, any kind of fish, this is 24/7. They live there, right? And this mercury is going into these fishes, and they're going along, just doing their thing. And then we catch them, and then we cut them up, and then we eat them.
Wow.
So I think the main things is that we just we should be aware of these things. And this is not to scare people. I just want people to be aware of what's going on. Maybe you want to cut back on tuna fish. You don't know, I mean, I think when I see something like this, it makes me think twice about eating tuna. I mean, I don't know. I mean, things are happening in the sea, and we have no explanation for it. But I'd like to hear what people think about this, what they think about the dolphins dying and all this fish dying that we showed you. And then this little short thing we did about mercury and how that affects us.
Well, especially of all that stuff, I just want to tell you, brother, that, it just seems like there's more earthquakes happening. I mean, you look at that. I mean, you have this big stuff in Northern California and these little spots here that just happen, And then look at the ones, I mean, not just there, but I mean, like in the middle of the state here, too.
I see those, but you know what? Since we're talking about the fish, I worry about the ones that are out in the middle of the sea. Are they triggering volcanoes underneath the sea?
I don't know.
Is that mercury coming up to the surface?
Could be. I mean, there's been a lot of them definitely happening. So I mean, look at all this stuff. We've been having a lot of the sea ones, that's for sure. So, brother, it's like as we're speaking, like you're getting more on the San Francisco one. I'm really worried about that, but that's off the subject there, but.
There was a prophetic word not too long ago by Joyner. He said he thought it would hit out somewhere in California. I'm not sure if he said if it was L.A. or maybe that was somebody else that said that L.A. or somewhere in California. So I mean, California's about due for one, to tell you the truth, a huge one. I mean, I don't wish that, and I wouldn't want to say that as a curse or anything, but I just feel that. We're overdue.
Yeah. Well, I just hope the Lord comes before it happens, though. But you're right. I mean, look at that, brother. I mean, that's not. Look, this one here wasn't here yesterday. That was Utah now.
That's Utah.
That's Utah. And look, offshore one off of there, and then this one just happened right here. Above Sacramento, and look at all these ones here near San Francisco. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Sacramento's about further down, isn't it?
Yeah, Sacramento's right over here.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can enlarge this more. Yeah, I mean, look at that.
Where's it at? What's the name of the town?
Let's see here. Yeah, something's happening.
Is that Hemet?
Well,
or Santa Rosa?
Let's see here. Well,
I think that's Santa Rosa that you're talking about. Santa Rosa and Sacramento are about 100 miles away from each other.
6 hours ago.
Okay.
The offshore one here, Oregon. Another one in Oregon. And these huge ones there. Look at that, Vancouver.
It's
Island, Canada. And then another one again, Vancouver. So these two just hit. So something's going on, brother. I mean, I don't know.
So earth pains, brother.
Yep. Let's see here, down here.
We got all kinds of little ones, yellow ones over there. What's that? Santa Barbara, Long Beach, Riverside.
Yeah.
Is that Victorville?
Victorville. Well, there's none up here, but
Rita.
yeah, down there.
Is that Visalia?
Let's see here. Visalia. Yeah. Until somewhere. And then look at Utah right down there, 15 hours ago. Oh man, I don't know, brother.
But anyway, we just wanted to bring this to you guys today just to show you what was happening with the Dolphins today and how Mercury could affect our lives, and that you might want to be aware of that in the future when you go to pick up a can of tuna.
Yeah.
So we just bless you. We bless you. We bless you.
I can't.